My wife's Apple Watch tracked her running 5 miles every morning at 6 a.m. I thought she was getting healthy. Then I checked the GPS route history and discovered she was running straight to her ex-boyfriend's house. And she'd been doing it for 4 months. My name is Jason. I'm 36 years old, and I'm a software engineer. I work with data, algorithms, location tracking. Ironic that the same technology I work with every day would be what exposed my wife's affair. Her name is Amanda, and we've been married for 8 years. Good years, I thought. We met through mutual friends, dated for 2 years, got married in a small ceremony by the lake. She was a kindergarten teacher, patient and kind, the type of person who finds joy in small things. I loved that about her. Thought I'd spend my life with her. 4 months ago, Amanda announced she wanted to get healthier. Said she was feeling sluggish, wanted to start running. I encouraged her completely. Bought her new running shoes, a nice Apple Watch to track her progress, even looked up beginner running programs online. She started waking up at 5:30 every morning, putting on her gear, heading out the door by 6. She'd be back around 7:15, showered and ready for work. I admired her dedication. Most people talk about getting fit and never follow through. Amanda was actually doing it. I'd check her Apple Watch data sometimes on our shared health app. We'd linked our accounts years ago, one of those couple things where you share fitness goals and motivate each other. Her stats were impressive. 5 miles every single morning, consistent pace, heart rate in the perfect cardio zone. She was getting faster too, her mile time improving week by week. I was proud of her. Told her constantly how great she looked, how inspired I was by her commitment. She'd smile, thank me, say she felt amazing. Everything seemed perfect. Then last Monday, I was working from home, debugging some location-based code for a client's app. I was testing GPS accuracy, looking at how different devices track movement. For reference, I pulled up Amanda's Apple Watch data to see real-world running routes. I opened the map view on the health app, zoomed in on her morning runs. And that's when I noticed something strange. Her route wasn't a loop. She wasn't running around our neighborhood or to the park and back like she'd told me. She was running in a straight line from our house to a specific address 3 miles away, staying there for about 45 minutes, then running back. I stared at the map, that familiar feeling of wrongness creeping over me. I zoomed in on the destination point. It was a residential address in the neighborhood across the highway. I didn't recognize it. Pulled up Google Maps, dropped a pin on the exact coordinates. The street view showed a small brick house with a blue door. I had no idea who lived there, but Amanda was going there every single morning, spending 45 minutes, then coming home. I checked the previous days, same pattern, same address. For 4 months, this had been her routine. I felt sick. There had to be an explanation. Maybe it was a running buddy's house. Maybe they met there to run together. But why wouldn't she mention that? And why did her watch show she stopped moving once she got there? If she was meeting someone to run, the GPS would show them running together from that location. Instead, it showed her arriving, staying stationary for 45 minutes, then running home alone. I needed to know whose house that was. I did what any software engineer would do. I searched property records. The house was owned by someone named Marcus Chen. The name hit me like a punch to the chest. Marcus, Amanda's ex-boyfriend from college, the one she dated for 3 years before we met, the one she occasionally mentioned in passing. always claiming they'd ended on good terms, stayed friendly. The one whose Facebook profile I'd looked up once years ago out of curiosity saw he'd moved back to our city for work. I'd never worried about it. Amanda and I were married, solid, happy. Ex-boyfriends were ancient history, except apparently they weren't. I checked every single day of her run history. 123 consecutive days of running to Marcus's house. Arriving at 6:15 a.m., leaving at 7, getting home by 7:15, right when she always did. 123 days of lying about where she was going. 123 mornings of kissing me goodbye, pretending to go running, and going straight to another man's house. The betrayal was so systematic, so calculated, it took my breath away. I didn't confront her immediately. I needed more proof, needed to be absolutely certain. That evening, I suggested we go for a run together the next morning. Amanda's face flickered with panic for just a second before she recovered. Said she preferred running alone, that it was her meditation time, that she'd lose motivation if she had to match someone else's pace. I pressed gently, said it would be fun, that we could go slow. She got irritated, said I was being clingy, that she needed this one thing that was just hers. I backed off, apologized, watched her carefully. She was defensive in a way she'd never been before. The next morning, I followed her, took my car, stayed way back, watched as she ran down our street, across the main road, through the neighborhoods I'd seen traced on her GPS. She ran with purpose, direct route, no stops. 28 minutes later, she reached the brick house with the blue door. Knocked once. The door opened. Marcus stood there, fit and smiling. She went inside. The door closed. I sat in my car 2 blocks away, watching that closed door, knowing exactly what was happening inside. 45 minutes later, she came out. Her hair was different, retied in her ponytail. Marcus stood in the doorway in a t-shirt and sweatpants, kissed her goodbye. Not a friendly peck, a real kiss, intimate and familiar. Then she started running home. I drove back, but got there before she did, pretended to be making coffee when she walked in, all sweaty and glowing. She kissed my cheek, said it was a great run, that she was getting so much faster. I asked how far she went. She said her usual 5-mile loop through the park. The lie came so easily, so naturally, like she'd been practicing it for months, which she had. I asked if she ever got bored running the same route. She said she liked the consistency, knew every turn, could zone out, and just run. Another lie layered on top. I wanted to scream. Instead, I nodded, said that made sense, handed her a coffee. That afternoon, I created a fake profile and messaged Marcus on Facebook. Pretended to be someone interested in buying property in his neighborhood. Asked how he liked the area. He responded friendly, said he'd lived there about 2 years, loved it. I asked if it was a good area for families. He said he lived alone, nice and quiet, perfect for a single guy. Single. So he wasn't in a relationship either, wasn't cheating on anyone, just willingly sleeping with a married woman, with my wife. I wanted to drive to his house and confront him, but I knew that wouldn't solve anything. The problem wasn't Marcus. The problem was Amanda. I hired a private investigator, needed documentation for the divorce I knew was coming. The PI watched her for a week, confirmed everything. Every morning at 6 a.m., Amanda ran to Marcus's house. Every morning she stayed 45 minutes. The PI got photos. Amanda in her running gear knocking on the door. Marcus answering, them embracing. leaving over an hour later, adjusting her clothes. The photos were clinical, factual, devastating. I had GPS data, property records, witness testimony, and photographic evidence. It was an airtight case. I confronted Amanda on a Saturday morning. She'd just come back from her run, was drinking water in the kitchen. I put my laptop on the counter, showed her the map with her GPS history, every single route traced to Marcus's house. Watched her face drain of color. She tried to say the GPS was wrong, that it must be a glitch. I showed her the photos from the PI, her at Marcus's door, them kissing. She sat down hard, started crying, asked how long I'd known. I told her a week. She asked why I waited. I said I needed to be sure, needed evidence for the lawyers. The excuses came fast. It wasn't what it looked like. They were just talking, reconnecting, as old friends. The kiss was a mistake. She still loved me. I asked what they were doing for 45 minutes every morning if they were just talking. She went silent. I asked if she loved him. She said she didn't know, that seeing him again had confused her, that she never meant for it to happen. I asked when it started. She admitted that Marcus had reached out 4 months ago, said he'd moved back to town, wanted to catch up for coffee. That coffee became regular meetings. Then she got the idea to pretend to start running so she could see him every day without suspicion. I asked if they'd slept together. She hesitated too long. That hesitation was answer enough. I told her I wanted a divorce. She begged me to reconsider. Said we could go to counseling, that she'd never see Marcus again. I asked if she would have stopped if I hadn't caught her. Another long silence. I told her to pack a bag and stay somewhere else while we figured out the logistics. She asked if she could stay at Marcus's place, then immediately realized how that sounded. I said I didn't care where she went as long as it wasn't here. She left that afternoon. I sat in our empty house, looking at her Apple Watch data still displayed on my laptop. 123 little blue lines, each one a betrayal, each one a morning she chose him over me. The technology that was supposed to help her get healthy had exposed the sickness in our marriage. The GPS coordinates that showed her exact location had revealed exactly where her heart was. And it wasn't with me, hadn't been for 4 months. The divorce is moving forward. Amanda tried a few more times to reconcile, sent long texts about how sorry she was, how she'd made a terrible mistake. But her mistake wasn't the affair. Her mistake was getting caught. She'd created an elaborate system to see Marcus every single day, lied to my face every morning for months, and only felt bad once she was exposed. That's not remorse. That's regretted consequences. I still have access to her Apple Watch data. Haven't removed the sharing, even though I should. Sometimes I check it late at night, see where she is. She's usually at Marcus's house, not just for morning runs anymore. Overnight stays, weekend visits. The relationship they were hiding is now public. They got what they wanted, and I got the truth, delivered in GPS coordinates and heart rate data. Proof that sometimes the things that are supposed to bring us closer are the same things that reveal how far apart we've been all along.